Your father was an artist.
My father was an artist. He did good work. He was very artistic. It was great.
The artist life isn't exactly a bed of roses. I started in media when I was 14 years old. That's my early life. Throughout high school, I wasn't a very good student because I was hardly there. I probably only attend 3 days out of 5 days of school. I was on the film set most of the
Film
time.
set. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was also very active in my extracurriculum. And ever since I was a child, my parents put me through art classes. I had 3 art teachers: piano, ballet, and swimming. So I was really busy every day after school. And school was very easy for me in that sense because since I was a kid, I had a schedule like a politician. I didn't actually enjoy school very much because I was a very timid and quiet child.
Anne is about the same age as you, exactly.
I'm July.
What day in July? Because my daughter Anne is born on the 28th of July.
I'm 31st. We're Leos.
Yes. I studied the Leo characters, so I know it's good. My daughter Anne is Leo, right? So I'm like, ooh, what is she going to be like?
What about you, Gemini?
Yes, Gemini, the 26th of May. Wow.
Actually, I was on my way to move myself to LA and I didn't raise enough money. Last year, when I met you, I decided to do a 10-week trip, East Coast and West Coast, to make sure I'm not going to move after all. So when I was there, I got to meet you.
That's interesting. That was a good lucky break. Yeah.
I had no idea what I was attending that evening at DVF. That's fancy. And so I'm like, okay, I'm just going to get on my little scooter.
I remember your scooter, yeah.
I scoot a couple of miles and go to DVF. I arrived pretty late. The panel was already going on. I hung around and I learned quickly what the event was about. I didn't even expect to meet you.
Oh, wow. It worked out.
It was funny because I was standing on the toilet line and Johnny was standing right before me and we were just talking about how long that line was. And then later on, he came up and chatted with me and his other friends came and we started to talk about compassion. I have a movement of random kindness. I have a movement for empathy. And all these movements are part of my art. I don't only do visual work. My art is for creating impact. So it could be really abstract as well. So I kind of talked about that and they were like, have you met Esther yet? No, I haven't. Esther, meet Poisey. And that was it. And you said, actually, I live in Palo Alto. Palo Alto is a place that's very dear to my heart because I did my surgery in Stanford.
I remember you told me that your doctor, he lives on my street, 5 houses away.
I felt an immediate connection to you. And then you said, in fact, I'll be back in New York. Before I learned that you were the godmother of Silicon Valley, you were neighbors to Dr. John Adler, my doctor in Stanford. This is a coincidence, but at the same time, for me, it's like a divine delivery. The first Google office was in your daughter, Susan's garage.
That's right.
And she went on to become CEO of YouTube. Besides all the family connections, you were also involved in the early days of Google.
I was involved in the education component of Google EDU. I guess that's not so surprising considering my background. And I helped start the Google Teacher Academy and the Google EDU. And I worked on all these products, Google Docs and Google Spreadsheet and Google presentations, and it was exciting. I had a great time doing it. I was very happy to help start the Google Teacher Academy because then we could impact teachers worldwide. And today, for example, thanks to Google Teacher Academy, there's also resources, like Google Education. All these resources online for teachers teaching in this COVID virus epidemic situation. It's called learn at home, that is the YouTube portion, and then teach at home is the Google education portion. So it was very exciting for me to be there at the beginning and help conceptualize the way it should go. And it's going great, very helpful for teachers. It was exciting for me to be able to be part of that.
How long were you in those projects?
About 2 years. And then I left primarily because I was doing other things at school, teaching.
Your school also went from a couple of trailers to one huge wing right now.
Well, my program went from about 20 kids to over 700 students today, 6 other teachers. So it took a lot of my time, and I was really interested in focusing on my education. I had already done a lot of stuff at Google, so I wasn't sure that the impact was as great at Google as it would have been in the school.
So your media art school, how old are the students?
15 to 18, usually grades 10, 11, and 12. For the 700 students, there's about 10 publications, one newspaper, multiple magazines, a radio program, television program every day, and movies. They may have their own movie film festival. And so the idea is to give students as much opportunity as possible in the 21st century. This is the century of media. Why not let kids enjoy it?
So you're actually Rupert Murdoch of the school media.
Yes, you could call me the Rupert Murdoch of the media program in the world for students. Good analogy. Yes, it's true.
Well, that's a really powerful platform.
It's powerful because it's real world. It teaches students really important skills for the 21st century. The number one thing it teaches them is to be self-learners, which is the number one goal for most educational institutions. It also teaches collaboration and communication and critical thinking and creativity. Those are the main goals for the 21st century. Everyone wants to hire people with media skills and thinking skills, be an independent worker. I think that's really important.
Can you tell me if there's any profession that will not benefit from having media skills?
Well, maybe even fishermen need to have media skills to understand, the weather and the currents and the fish, and even gardeners. I was going to say farmers, but they profit a lot from having media skills as well. I would say somebody that's a worker, hard labor, maybe you don't need media skills for that. But everything else in the world, you need media skills. It benefits everybody. It's universal.
How do you think media can reform itself? I guess you could agree that the content is degenerative.
One of the reasons that there's so much sensationalism in media today is because newspapers get paid by the click. What it does is encourages newspapers put sensational headlines on stories because then they get more clicks. So if they could decouple the clicks from the money they make, then there wouldn't be as much sensationalism. All the publications are doing that. The only ones that don't do that are the nonprofits. Rupert Murdoch's publications are the largest in the world, and they are the most sensational in the world. They write about unbelievable things.
Maybe you should leave him a message.
Well, the message would be, could you please stop sensationalizing your stories? That would be a good message for him. And can you make sure that your stories don't have a political message at the same time? It's too much politics connected with Rupert Murdoch's publications. Fox News is the largest news publication in the world. He has a lot of power. Can he use that power for good? That would be the best.
That would be the call to action from Mr. Murdoch. What about a call to action for everyone who's listening in?
Well, the call to action would be to implement the trick philosophy in their lives. It will make their life better and make the life of their partner better and the life of their coworkers better. I mean, when you treat people with trust and respect and you collaborate, you don't dictate. And of course, you treat them with kindness. It works better for everyone.
I'm just going to do a rundown of trick. Is trust, is respect, independence, collaboration, kindness.
Yes, that's it.
Our listeners, friends can go check out your books.
The book is called How to Raise Successful People, Simple Lessons for Radical Results. And it will be out pretty much many of the Asian languages, so you can look.
In your own words, how would you describe your legacy?
My legacy, I'd like them to think of me as changing the way education is conceptualized. So the learner, the student, is in the driver's seat for the most part. So people have more control, more power, and they have more productive school experience. When you learn like that as a child, you grow up to be a happier adult, more productive adult. And so the goal is to make the world a better place because we all need to work together. As we can see, the planet is suffering, and we need to make sure that this is a place where human beings can live for many, many centuries more happily.
I know you're pretty funny.
I'm funny because I find the humor in life. Uh-oh, that's my daughter.
Do you need to pick her up?
Yeah, wait a minute, I have to go answer. So that was my daughter Anne. I do have to go over to her house now. She can be very directive, let's put it that way.
She's a Leo.
Yes, I think she might have learned a thing or two from her mother.
Very quickly, will there be a masterclass, and what would it be called?
I should do a master class. I have thought about it, but I'm doing so many things at the moment until maybe later this summer. I think it would be on basically how to use trick to lead a better life. I think if people could understand it more effectively, they would feel better about themselves and feel better about the things that are going on in their life. My philosophy is that you can't really control life. Nobody can control the fact that we have this horrible virus. But you can control your reaction to life. Your reaction to life determines how you live your life. And so it'd be great to have a master class helping people live more satisfactory lives.
I look forward to that.
Thanks for the suggestion. You're full of good questions.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for making time to be the first guest on Power Beauty Conversations. I'm very excited to share your episode with the world. And look out for the children's book that's going to be coming up.
Yeah, that would be great.
Thank you. See you.
See you. Take care. Bye-bye.